Hi, and welcome back to another AI in 5. I'm your host, Simon Chris. And joining me today is Chuck Whiteman. Now, Chuck's the founder and CEO at Agentic AI. And we're going to be talking about the technical impacts of adopting Agentic AI. Hey, Chuck, welcome to AI in 5. Thanks for joining us.
It's great to be here, Simon. Thanks for having me.
We're in 2025. Things are moving quickly. In your world, I particularly want to hone in. We've seen IT teams that have had to transform from server things to desktop to web apps, to mobile apps. And now, of course, agentic AI is starting to play in this space, both in the mobile and desktop areas and things. How are you seeing that transformation going on?
Yeah, thanks for that question. I mean, we're talking to a lot of companies, and they're wrestling with this, like, what does it mean to transition to this new agentic world? And I feel like the most interesting people to talk to are the CEOs of custom software development shops, because they've got this sort of history that not everyone has. I mean, I was talking with one CEO last Saturday, and he's like, when I started this business, we were delivering EXEs. And I was like, what do you mean? He said, well, like desktop software. And not long into it, we started doing web applications, which was a completely different tech stack. And then fast forward, a few years after that, people started talking about responsive and mobile first, and those terms kind of sound quaint and almost laughable now, but that was the new thing. And that was a new pivot. And it wasn't, it was some new technologies. It was a completely different design sort of concept. And it was a completely different distribution model, right? So it was, the App Store and Play Stores. And now, they're really trying to figure out, like, what is it going to look like now that we're moving into this agentic app dev world? And I'm certain that a whole new set of terms and technologies are going to be birthed in order to support this new paradigm. And some of these terms will go ahead.
Is it creating new headaches? So traditionally, the IT guys went in the back room and they spun up a server and they just installed this software and away we go. When we start getting into agentic things, though, there are a plethora of different vendors. Just the large language model to understand what the job is. There's, 10 different models you could be using. Do you think that's creating complexity, or is it actually becoming easier and easier?
I think it is creating complexity. And I think if you ask me what's going to be the defining characteristic of this new era when we look back 5 or 10 years from now, I think the answer is going to be middleware. Because I think middleware is what's going to, solve the complexity you're describing. This middleware is going to provide the connectivity to models, which, as you said, they're evolving still at a stunning pace, to your data. Not just the organization's data, but your data. I mean, this includes the information that's going to be required for the agent to act on your behalf rather than someone else's. I think there's going to be a term, whether it's, your allegiant layer, or, I'm not sure what the terminology is going to be, but it's going to be about how do I make an agent act on my behalf? And that middleware is going to give you connectivity to front end applications. And it's not just going to be front end software applications. I mean, there are going to need to be physical interfaces so your agents can do more than just drive your car in the physical world. They're going to need to be able to convert thought into action in a lot of different ways, and also connectivity to backend tools, because the last thing you're going to want to build in this new era is a monolithic application where all the stuff is baked into this thing that you compile and deliver.
Yep.
So I think it's going to be middleware, and it's even performance and reliability. I mean, you think of platforms like Akamai and Cloudflare that add really important capabilities to HTTP requests today. The same sort of thing is going to be required for these agentic requests, which are kind of running off like today LLM calls, but all of that's going to be really, really important plumbing.
Yeah, wow. It's funny. I've always talked about, AI being more of a business problem than a technical problem. And I think simple use cases, initial simple use cases, that's probably true. As we get into this agentic world, though, there really is going to be some engineering that goes on there. Look, we're already at time, believe it or not, but I can't let you go without asking you the same question I ask everyone, which is what's your advice for an organization that's just thinking about heading down the agentic path or even just down the AI
Whatever
path?
you build, and I would start building sooner rather than later, you need to think flexibility. You need to be able to adjust quickly or you will fail. I mean, McKinsey did a study last year where they found 89% of custom Gen AI projects ended in failure. And I don't think they ended immediately in failure. They ended in failure when the people that built them couldn't keep up with the pace of change.
Chuck, thanks for that. This has been a great AI in five. I look forward to chatting again.
Oh, thank you. Love to be here.